Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And today we got a very special guest on. Somebody who not only shares our love for YouTube and podcasting, but also shares the same love for the Toronto Blue Jays. That man is Jim, a.k.a. BALLCAP Sports. My guy. How is it? How are things?
Well, thank you guys for having me on. Things are great, right? Like, we've got so much baseball to talk about. We've got the Blue Jays getting involved in this, getting in the mix. Things are great. It's been a long road. It feels like it's kind of tiring, but I'm good. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more.
I was just going to say, man, because for a long time on this show, I'm not sure about your show, but we were like lamenting, we were complaining that there just was not anything to talk about, and then in the past 2 weeks, it's been like, holy shit, like, what's going on?
The whole offseason has happened in the last 2 weeks. It's insane.
Seriously, I haven't slept in days. It's been like, waking up at like uploading videos at like midnight. Like, right. It's been a lot, but it's been a lot of fun too. And what the crazy thing is we're actually not done. We don't think we're done. Do you think we're done this offseason?
No, definitely not. The money they have invested in Simeon and Springer and Yates, like, they would be. I mean, we got Simeon for 1 year, so you can't waste that $18 million. You got to further invest in the team. I think that there's at least 2 more moves to be made, whether it's free agents or trades, whatever it is. I think there's a lot more coming.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, man. And that's a good point. I never really considered it's like, oh, like, we only have Simeon for 1 year. Like, yep. I know it's like a kind of a bridge for, some of our younger prospects like Groshans, like potentially Martin. But it's like this guy could be solid, man. Like, let's make use of him and let's build a team around like this 1 year to win right now.
Yes. Yeah, there's going to be a challenge with now what the Blue Jays are going to have to compete with the Dodgers, right? Like, if the Blue Jays get to the World Series, they're staring at a 3-headed monster with the Dodgers. So they almost need to look at it. Maybe this motivates the Jays to do something big, right? They said the heavy lifting was over, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe they look at this Bauer move to the Dodgers and they're like, okay, if we make it to the World Series, we want to try to win. So we have to go and get another ace. We have to go and get a solid number 2. I'm hoping it motivates Atkins and Shapiro and all those guys.
See, that's exciting. And I keep thinking that, well, we made all these moves. Like, we might as well just try and win. But I keep thinking about, like, where are we, Blue Jays, on our schedule of rebuild, right? I guess you can't even say we're rebuilding anymore. We are now contending.
No, I think that we need to be considered competitors.
Right? But, like, are we still competitors, or are we labeled World Series competitors now, right?
Well, yeah, and that's tough, man. If you're comparing us to the Dodgers, if that's the classification for World Series competitor, then the answer is no, man.
Right.
Jim, dude, I found an incredible stat, and I said it in the Bauer video. I want to see your reaction with this, man. I looked up currently the Dodgers, their starting 5, their rotation, and then I averaged out what collectively their career ERA is.
Yeah.
It's 3.2.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
What's Max Scherzer's, though? That's the comparison.
Yeah, Max Scherzer's is 3.21. That's his career ERA. So on any given night, they're getting something like that.
It's
that's the competition.
I'm glad we're not in the National League West, because we'd be on the outside looking in if we were in the National League West. If the Yankees and the Red Sox were doing this, we have seen in years past, it would be just depressing. But I'm glad that all that is far away in the National League West. We don't have to worry about it until October. And until then, we can hope that the Padres and Dodgers just beat up on each other. And by the time they get to it, they're exhausted.
They're bruised and battered, and they come into a fresh-faced Jays, hopefully. Which actually brings me up, now that, Red Sox have kind of fallen out of the picture, and now that we're, entering and competing with the Yankees, what do you think is going to happen this coming year? Do we have a legitimate shot to take the AL East, or are we more of a wild card team, do you think?
Yeah, and record-wise, too,
They've got to do something. The pitching has to improve. I Ryu at the top. Pearson, if Pearson can develop into a 2 this year, like that would be great. But I don't want to enter the season and put that burden on him, right? I want to let him
it's still a question mark, bro. And
just show up. Sure. Nate Pearson, be yourself. We've got somebody else that's going to shoulder that load that we're going to expect that. And Nate, it hasn't been announced. I haven't heard of. Nate Pearson's going to be on an innings limit this year, right? Like he's not going to pitch 200 innings. It's just not going to happen. I'd be shocked. So we're going to need to do something else. And if we can make a trade with the Cubs for Hendricks, or we can make a trade with the Reds for Sonny Gray, or maybe we get Jake Odorizzi and James Paxton, or we do a combination of those things. We do something like that. Yeah, I give the Blue Jays a shot to win the East because the Yankees aren't going to have Severino back for a while. Kluber could flame out. Tyone could be what he was in Pittsburgh. Like there's still some question marks. So it's really definitely competing with the Yankees, setting yourself up to take them out, and to do that, to even do that, they got to do more in the pitching department, and I really hope they do. Otherwise, again, they waste the Simeon deal, they waste a year Springer, they waste a year of Ryu. We're a year early, right? Like this was supposed to be the year that we might sneak our way into the playoffs. Like last year was going to be, maybe a 78.
We didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, it was like rolling dice last year. We rolled pretty good.
The step year. This was the year we take a step, but they did it last year. So now we're a year ahead. Let's capitalize on a younger year of Ryu than we thought we would be when we were ready to compete. Let's capitalize on. They got to do it. Have to do it.
Get the pitching, bro. And it's. I was talking to Adam about this the other day, and it was like a nightmare scenario for me when I thought about this, and I was like, oh my god, if Ryu was to go down with an injury,
right?
You may as well just write this season off right now.
Gone.
Like it's over, and that's why we need to have like even just some more depth guys that can that have upside, because right now it's like you look at our staff. And like you were talking about Pearson, like the upside is definitely there, but we don't want to put that pressure on him being like, you have to do this.
Exactly.
And it's like, I think like Rourke, Matz, Ray, I feel like they all have a ceiling that is capped. Like I don't see those guys necessarily like developing into that very strong number 2 behind Ryu.
Or I wouldn't bet on it, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put my marbles
No,
in
that's
there,
what
right?
I mean. Like it's like for this year, I would not say I don't think that they're going to do that. Whereas I think a Taijuan Walker, or I think an Odorizzi, or I think a Paxton, they just have a better chance of doing that. So I'm curious to you. We did a video on it. We were talking about Paxton or Walker. Out of some of the guys that you mentioned, because you were saying Gray, you were saying Walker, you were saying Paxton, you were saying Hendricks. Out of all those guys, who would be your like number 1 on the hit list? We should target this guy. Get on the phone, manager.
I'd probably put Sonny Gray first, because I think Sonny Gray would love to pitch and compete against the Yankees after how that went. So I think Sonny Gray would have a chip on his shoulder pitching in late summer when they're fighting for the playoffs and maybe fighting for position against the Yankees. So Sonny Gray would probably be 1. Hendricks would be 2 because he's got the playoff experience. And Hendricks is steady.
Solid.
Paxton would probably be next, just because I'd put him third because he's coming off the injury. We don't know exactly what Paxton's going to be, but I still think if they come away with this with Paxton and Odorizzi, or Odorizzi and Walker, like it's got to. I think we need 2. I think we got to. 2. I do. Yeah, I think it's 2 because, like you said, if Ryu gets hurt, or if anybody gets hurt, the Jays don't want to be in a position where they're having to have these bullpen days. You don't have to be in a position where we're leaning on Trent Thornton or Tanner Roark to try to get key wins. Now they can always make trades during the season. There's always the in-season, trades before the trading deadline. But let's just get into the season with the team together that we feel confident can topple the Yankees, and then go get that superstar ace for the run to make the playoffs. Like let's put the team together now, and then in July or the end of June or whenever, then let's go get whatever ace is available on the trade market.
No, I agree, and you know what? I think now that Bauer's kind of opened, like he's gone to LA now.
Yeah,
I truly do believe that the market is open now. We're going to see some moves. Like, I mean,
Definitely.
this had nothing to do, different position, but like Ozuna just left the board. Everyone's going to start leaving. Spring training is what? Pitchers, catchers reports like what, 2 to 3 weeks away?
Yep.
It's very close.
Wow, very close.
Very
actually.
close.
Yeah, that snuck up on us.
Yeah.
Man.
So I do believe it's going to happen soon. And truthfully, yes, it's going to be 2. For me, I think personally, I would love to grab Walker because I mean he's already got familiarity with the pitching staff, with the team, with Pete Walker. He's already got comfortable in that sort of organization. He's even expressed interest in like coming back and playing for Toronto. And I do believe at 28 years old, he's still got great years left in him. I would love to like max. I'd want to go on like a 4-year deal, right? Because I could easily see that guy locking in and joining a rotation. If we want some steady consistency from a pitcher, I think Walker, it would be the safest bet. Paxton, great player. That injury is like confusing, but he should be able to bounce back.
I feel like Walker has maybe. I really like Sonny Gray. Like I think I agree with you, man. Like I think Sonny Gray would be number 1 out of those guys for me because he is like just so solid. I think, but like I do think that Walker's got a very nice ceiling to him. And if we did lock him down at a young age like this, 28, then when Ryu and God bless him, like he's elite, he's amazing. But eventually, he's not getting any younger. There will be a decline in his play. If Walker was that next guy, along with Nate Pearson and potentially whomever we get in a year or something, to step in and be that ace, then that would just be awesome.
This is why I mean I didn't mention him because I think that his asking price is too high, but Luis Castillo would be great just because of that age, because he could step up and be that next round because Ryu's probably got a couple years left, and then he does have injury history, right? Ryu does, so. That could creep up. It didn't creep up last year because it was a 60-game season. Does it creep up over 162? So to have that backup would be key. Now, it's also going to be important that they try to develop Kay and Merriweather and Woods Richardson and those guys. But if we're jumping the goal up to try to win the division, we don't want to put that stress on those guys. Let them develop. Let's get that top of the rotation just beefed up, so that we can take time to develop the other guys. I really hope they do. I think they have to. I think they will. Like you said, I think the Bauer situation probably slowed some things up. Maybe the Jays were all in for Odorizzi, and Odorizzi's waiting for Bauer to go because Odorizzi wants to set his price relevant to Bauer. And so now maybe Odorizzi's going to be asking for too much. Blue Jays go to plan B, and maybe plan B is Walker, or maybe plan B is a trade. So I'm interested to see over the next couple of days what the Blue Jays do, because I just got a feeling they've been waiting for this to go down, and now some things will happen.
I got an interesting plan D. How about Yadier Molina?
Crazy, that's insane.
Yeah, it's like
he's pitching in our 4th rotation spot.
Well, guys, just to preface this, before this video, Jim just brought up that this guy is apparently pitching, struck somebody out. I mean, better than nothing.
He's 7th inning guy. Yeah, where did this come from? Like Heyman dropped it kind of out of nowhere the other day, and it's like the Blue Jays have so many catchers that are major league ready, with Jansen and Kirk and McGuire, and I think everybody wants to see Kirk get more time. I don't understand why this Molina thing's even creeping up. I'm really surprised about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but I don't want it. Like I'm good without Molina.
He's near the end of his career. I think we want people in the prime and maybe a little bit of veteran but mainly young. That's kind of where our team's at.
It's just also like literally we just do not need that at all. The only my instinctual reaction when I saw that was, oh, okay, am I going to start hearing rumors that Danny Jansen is getting shipped off in the next couple hours, and this is why they're doing that, or something like that?
You can only imagine, right?
It wouldn't make sense to sign Molina and also have Jansen and Kirk.
No.
It's like, what?
No.
Yeah, it's a shocker, and I really he's going back to St. Louis. I mean, that's just this would be a big surprise because of his relationship in St. Louis and how the Blue Jays. I almost feel like it'd be a waste of money. Like that's not going to help the Blue Jays. Pitching, guys, get the pitching done, right?
That's all I've been saying all season.
Do it. Get that pitching done.
Insane, man. And I was talking to Adam about this again the other day. I was saying, even before we got Springer and Semien, the need was still pitching. You know, it was like, it still was like, if I was to say our biggest offseason need, it was pitching. And then we got some batters, and I love them.
Which is like a lineup.
But now amazing. It's like, guys, pitching or nothing. Pitching or nothing right now.
It's like they've got ADD over there, and they're like, okay, we're focused on the pitching, and then this shiny little thing appears over here, and it's like, ooh, what's that? It's not here, Molina. Seriously,
Shapiro can't help himself, bro. He's like, I think I want it.
Right. Can I get it? I'm gonna go get it. Do I need it? I don't care. I just want it.
Yeah. I always love when I hear the reports after when it's like they're talking about like, yo, so how did the management approach you? And he's like, yeah, they just kept calling. They just kept calling me. And I'm like, okay, I guess they really want me. But I love that. Hey, they're making moves, so you cannot complain about the moves that they've made. Yeah. You know, speaking of which, we've been talking so much about the pitching and all that. I mean, we've kind of just forgotten in this huge wake of moves. Like, I woke up the other day like, wait a minute, we have Springer? You know what I mean? We do all these podcasts, we do all this reporting. It's like our job, right? And it's like we do it so much that we almost come numb to it. But then when you actually realize as a fan, you're like, holy crap, like I'm going to see Springer leading off.
Take a step back for a second. And not even just Springer too, but it's like I am projecting some big breakout years from the core. The core kids.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, from Vladdy. And if Bo can just stay healthy, man, he can just stay on that field and stay healthy, third year in the league.
Yeah.
Whew.
Do we think he's gonna do Tatis numbers? I love throwing out questions.
I want to see Vladdy step up and enter that level that Acuna and Tatis have entered, right? Because I think he kind of compares himself to them. That's why he's crushing it in the offseason. I think he knows, like he's looking at his peers and he's like, man, I've kind of fallen back here. So I'm looking at Vladdy to take that kind of a step. Now, whether he jumps right into that conversation this year, I'm not going to go that far. But does he start to put up the numbers that really take it to a new level? Because part of it last year was the core. Biggio was great and Bichette was great when he was in there. Gurriel was great. Like that core took a step, and I think there probably is another step this year. And then you throw in Springer. That's why it's so important that we get the pitching, because these guys are going to use a year of that eligibility. So after this year, we're another year closer to those arbitration numbers going up, and another year from them being unrestricted free agents. We can't waste this window. They have to go get the pitching.
And what you just said, man, like let's just say Vladdy does take that step, and he is now part of the Juan Soto and the Tatis and the Acuna conversation,
or even in the in that area, even close to that. Like close to that would be amazing.
And the lineup is doing what we expect them to do. And then we're facing up against the Dodgers or the Yankees, and the Yankees have Garrett Cole, and we have fucking Tanner Rourke going into the playoffs, and we're toast. We're done.
They can't do that. They can't. I don't think they will. Shapiro's a smart guy. I know he's driving. He's driven everybody crazy, but I think he's got to know that. He's got to know he's got to do something, and it might mean that Jordan Groshans is gone. It might mean that Manoah's gone. It might mean some of those prospects. But if we're ready to win now, you know what? That's where we're at, right? Also, I think Austin Martin makes Jordan Groshans expendable. Austin Martin's already passed Jordan Groshans on the prospect list. So, the way the team is set up right now, there's not going to be room for both Austin Martin and Jordan Groshans with what they've got now.
Martin's got more flexibility too, right? Yeah. He can play literally anything.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why I think that it's, maybe we need to float Jordan Groshans out into some trades and see what they can get back from him. His value is never going to be any higher because he was still a first-round pick.
He
hasn't played above A, so it's not like he's had an opportunity to go struggle at AA or AAA. He hasn't done that yet, so there's still some intrigue around Jordan Groshans. I'm not saying go trade him. I'm not saying I don't like him, but I'm saying if there's one guy that could maybe go get that Sonny Gray deal done, if that's what it takes, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about it too, and You know, it's like we're actually like we love Jordan, man. Like we've had him on the show before. He's a great guy, you know. And it's like I feel bad like throwing his name out all the time, but I'm just like we're doing that because he is a valuable piece that can get the job done. You know,
it should be almost flattery. Like we think you're good enough to go get an ace back.
Everybody wants you.
Right. We'll miss you. Like, we would love to see you make it here. But if you can go get an ace back, that we think you're that caliber of player that you could bring a good, you know, already proven all-star, top of the rotation pitcher back, that's us indirectly saying good things about him.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally agree.
Exactly.
Could not agree more.
The future is bright for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah. I think finishing thoughts, we are all on the same page that A, we need pitching, and B, if we get pitching, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Yes,
that's the next step.
Has to be. Like, if to go get those moves done, to go get, if it's Paxton and Walker or Gray and Walker or some combination, they bring two guys in with the moves they've done. I think they're going for it. They know what they're going to go up against if they get there. So they have to be prepared to make some moves. So they put the team together now. And then watch during the season, because they'd certainly be a player for, you know, whoever's available at the trade deadline too. That'd be fascinating to watch too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Jim, thank you so much for coming on our show, Blue Jays.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, it is, and we're very much excited to come on your show this coming Tuesday, 10 p.m. Right, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely catch the BALLCAP Nation. We will be back. We'll continue this conversation between now and then. Maybe we've got somebody else on the team. We'll dive into that.
Yes.
Awesome,
we'd love that.
Awesome, man. It was lovely. We will see you then, my friend. Until then, go Jays, go.
Right on.
All right, guys. So there you have it. That was Jim, our now new buddy, also known as BALLCAP Sports. We will obviously link his channel down below, but please let us know if you guys have any thoughts on what we talked about today. I think that, you know, the main thesis statement here was this team is so close to being ready. We just need that one final little bit of pitching to put us in that conversation with these other guys. But let us know in the comments down below your thoughts.
Yes, guys. And you can also, if you want to listen to us, you can listen to us on our Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, and Breaker. You can also check us out on our Instagram, Twitter, and as well, Patreon, $3 a month, and you can come on to the show and be a part of the show. Literally phone in. And as well, Relevant, we're chatting in there. Come join our vibe. Look up Relevant. Spelled with no E. There's no second E, right? It's just relevant.
Yeah, we will. We'll toss it in the description so you guys can check that out.
Showing our vibe. Super cool chats in there.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays go.